Hi guys. So basically I've taken a look at the layout of the website and I'm going to start to get into the HTML structure of the website. So first I'm going to create a folder on my desktop called Ozio-graphic design. Inside that folder I've already got a folder called _working, and that's just where I put my Photoshop documents or any other documents that I'm working with to make this website. The next folders I want to create inside this Ozio graphic design folder is my CSS folder to house all my CSS files. I want to create a new folder for the images, and even though I'm not going to get into JavaScript in these tutorials, I'm going to create a JS folder. So that's my basic folder structure that I want for my portfolio website at this point in time. And I can now open up this folder inside brackets. Drag this folder into brackets, and I can start to create my HTML, my CSS files. So first, right click in the left sidebar, create a new file, call it index.html, and go to the edit menu, and I simply want to add my HTML form to this, so I'm just going to go and create the HTML file here. Do some house cleaning really quick and make this look like the way it does in class. All right, here we have the HTML basic structure. I'm going to put in the language and make sure that we tell that it's English, and because we're Canadian, we'll put CA in there. I'm going to change the title to be Ozio graphic design to match the design of the website. And below that, I know we need to link to the CSS file. So just like we've done in class, I know that it's going to be called style.css. And make sure I add the relational tag here of style sheet. Great. Perfect. So let's start with some of the content first inside HTML. So I'm going to create a div tag. And the first div tag, just like we talked about in the last video, is going to be called wrapper. And I'm going to put an HTML comment at the end of the wrapper div tag, because I find that if we put the comments in now, then it won't get as confusing later on. Wrapper ends. All right, the wrapper is the first thing in here. The next one I want to put in here is I'm going to create a section, and it's going to be the home section. And again, I can put the comments after this. Home ends, just so I know where that ends. Inside this home section, I'm going to have the header. Inside the header, I'm going to create a div with an ID for the logo. And again, I can put the comments here and just say that the logo ends. After that, I'm going to create a nav tag, because this is where my navigation is going to go. So essentially, inside the home section, I'm going to have the big background image. I'm going to have the header. Inside the header's got the logo and the navigation. And below that, I'm going to create another section. And it's going to have an ID of key message. And I can note down here that this section is the key message. Keep wanting to put the space between key and message, but in web we want to make sure there's no spaces. So I can use no space or a dash. And now I've pretty much got this home section created. And I'm going to simply put inside these tags logo, nav, home, key message, just so we can see what they look like in a web browser. So if I save this now, really you're not going to be impressed, but we can take a look in a web browser and see what it looks like. And there we go. So the content just stacks on top of each other. There's the home, the logo, the nav, and the key message. Hide my web browser, and after the home section was the portfolio section. So I'm going to create a section with an ID that equals portfolio. And we just type the word portfolio in here so we can see it. And let me know by putting a comment in here and letting myself know that the portfolio section ends here. And below the portfolio section is the about section. Again, putting the text in there for the about and adding a comment to tell me the about ends. Another section for the contact. So close. Oh, so close. Oh, so close. There we go. Contact. Contact ends. And the final thing that we're going to work on is the footer. And I'll just put footer in here as well. Great. So in just a couple of minutes, I've created the wrapper, which goes around the entire website. I've got the home section where my hero image is going to go in the home section, the header with a div tag for my logo, space for the navigation, and my key message. Below the home section, I've created a portfolio section. I've created an about section. I've created a contact section and a footer section. So that's basically in HTML the skeleton of my website. I'm going to go in the next video and show you CSS. Make sure that we link these all together, and then we'll just have a website displaying in a web browser that has all kinds of different colors to show you where the sections would be. And hopefully, again, this helps you in thinking of how to lay out your website.